name's Avery Hilditch. I'm the Secretary of the Child Protection Party. I got involved in the Child Protection Party back in 2016 when I saw a report, I think it was on Sky News, about a little girl called Ebony Napier Tucker who, aged 4 months old, had been beaten to death by her father, and he had been convicted of manslaughter, and the mother had been acquitted of any crime. It turned out at the coroner's inquest that when Ebony was 4 weeks old, she'd been taken to the Royal Adelaide Hospital, or the Women's and Children's Hospital, and with a broken femur. And when the nursing staff called Families SA, as they were called at the time, they questioned the parents who said that they'd been carrying the baby through from the bedroom to the living room or somewhere at the kitchen where they were so they could feed her, and they tripped and fell and landed on top of her, and they heard the femur crack. Now that should have been a giveaway. There was an issue there, because a baby that young, their bones are too soft, they don't make a cracking noise that you would hear the way Bradley Napier Tucker, the so-called father, described it. Families SA was satisfied with the explanation and allowed the parents to take the baby home. And for 4 months, when she was about 4 months old, the mother called the police and said, "I think there's something wrong with my baby." When the police turned up, as soon as the door was open, they could smell the decomposition. And it turned out that Ebony had been lying dead in her crib for nearly a week. She had 70 odd fractures in her poor little body, 28, 30, something like that. I'm not exactly sure of the number, in her rib cage alone, and then fractures in her skull and her legs, and she'd been lying there dead, as I said, for a week. And the thought that occurred to me was, why did Families SA let them go? Why could they not find out? I spoke to my brother, who was a police officer, and said, if you wanted to find out if somebody had a conviction for child abuse in another state, can you do that? And he said, yes, we'd have to write to the other state and ask them, and then that might be an email, it might be a fax, but we would wait 5, 6, 7, 10 days to get a response. He said, and he told me that if he wanted to know what my driving history was, he can do that on his phone. And my thought was, why on earth could Families SA not pick up their mobile phone or pick up a tablet, log into a secure database, and check, have these people got a conviction in any other state or territory for child abuse? And it turned out that Bradley Napier Tucker and the woman he was married to had convictions in New South Wales for child abuse. So they should have been red flagged. The Families SA should have been able to log in and do something. They couldn't. I've spent years developing databases. So I knew it was a feasible thing to do, an easy thing to do. I created a petition. I got thousands of signatures. Somebody must have passed it on to Darren Hinch, because I got a call from him at work one day, and we spoke for half an hour or so. He introduced me to somebody else here in Adelaide, who introduced me to Nadia Berganetti, who introduced me to Tony Tonkin. They invited me to come down to a meeting and learn a little bit about the party. I went down there. I said, yes, I can help, I can do a little bit for your website, but that's all I can do. But the more time I spent listening to Tony and Nadia and the others that were there at the time, the more I learned about just how terrible the child protection system is here in South Australia and in every other state and territory. And the more committed I became to doing something to actually do whatever I could to change that system.